Hello? Can you all hear me? Let's see. I think that there's somebody here. This is my first time live streaming. I have no idea what I'm doing, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Oh, it says that there's 3 people here. Okay. Now I see where that is. Hi. Tell me where you are in the comments. I've got the comments enabled. Or who you are. That would be helpful too. There's one person here. Oh gosh, this is fun. Welcome to my first live stream ever. If you are here with me, thank you for joining me on New Year's Eve. Happy almost New Year. Let me know who you are and where you are in the comments. Hey, Fiona. Nice to see you. I can't actually see you, but it's nice to see your name there in the comments. Where are you joining from? Hey, Doman. Awesome. I see y'all all the time on my channel. It's so great to have you here with me on my first live stream. This is cool. Oh, there's 5 people now. Who else is here with me? Tell me where you're joining from on this wonderful New Year's Eve. UK and from New Zealand. That is cool. It is really cool. Hey, Lisa, how are you? Happy New Year. You're getting closer to the new year than I am, all the way on the west coast of the US over in Norway. That is awesome. It's so good to see you and have you here. Hey, Jeannie. Hey, Jeannie. Good to see you. I know where you are. Oh my gosh. This is fun. This is really cool. So before I joined this very first live stream, I spent about a half hour fighting with the lights that were just like flickering on and off. So hopefully we don't have that problem at all. But it'll be really funny and we'll get through that chaos together if it does happen. Awesome. I see another person joined. If you're just joining, let me know where you're joining from. I'll get started with the health update in a couple minutes or whenever I feel like it, I guess. This is really cool. Awesome. Happy New Year, everybody. All right, I'll just get started with it. So my last health update it was back in June. I haven't done one since June, honestly, because I've been dealing with health problem after health problem this year. It seems like all like relatively minor things in the great scheme of VADS or vascular EDS. But just challenging enough to where I didn't have the energy to put forth any effort into video editing other than the podcast that I do. So since June, pretty much right after my health update video in June, I developed IT band syndrome in my right IT band, and I really couldn't walk like at all. Which was ironic right after that video in June where I was like on this beautiful hike and I'm like, I'm going to do this as long as I can. I love hiking and I just love it. And then like a week later, I couldn't walk. Hey there. Hey Jake. So yeah, I was dealing with that and I had PT for several months. It was pretty much like July through close to the end of September, which did actually help with the IT band syndrome, but I struggled to walk at the beginning of that. I was able to get better enough to where we went to Sequoia National Park at the beginning of September, and I was actually able to do some small hikes and get back to like some sense of normality. But for a while there, it was just really difficult to function, not being able to walk. So that's what happened like July through September, right after my last health update video. And then like my last PT was end of September. And then on October 6th, on the day of the VED's birthday bash, I woke up with a cold and I was sick like from that day until mid-November. I was still coughing. And then I started developing more of a sore throat and I wasn't able to swallow food anymore. and I was put on a liquid diet and had a swallow study on November 28th. So I was on a liquid diet for about a week and a half, and then I went against medical advice and I started eating food on Thanksgiving anyway, because I wasn't going to go through Thanksgiving without that. But I was diagnosed with something called laryngopharyngeal reflux, which is where you have like the silent acid reflux I was having, I guess, that was triggered by the cold. And it burned like my vocal cord area and inflamed all of this area. So I couldn't swallow or eat food very well. I was able to do liquids, but not food. So now I've been on Prilosec since that was diagnosed. My voice is not 100%, but it is starting to feel better, and I can swallow food again. And I've been eating pretty much everything that I can get my hands on since I started eating food again on Thanksgiving. So that is that update. It's been a hard year. Athos Rock says, what was your favorite non-swallowable food? What was my favorite non-swallowable food? Like, I'm guessing non-swallowable food would be at the time that I was not able to swallow it. Like, it's not a food that you can never swallow. It's a food that I couldn't swallow at that time. Gosh, I mean, I was so excited about green bean casserole. That's like my favorite thing to eat on Thanksgiving is green bean casserole. I'll make a green bean casserole and then I'll eat green bean casserole for like breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 6 days after that. So probably green bean casserole was the best thing right after I started eating again. I hope that answers your question. Oh yeah, slow mode chat is on, so you cannot confirm during my question. I did that in case it was too chaotic to manage the chat feature. But apparently this is going just fine. So I'm going to leave it on, but I'm assuming that I answered your question. The last major health update that I have is I had my scans, my annual scans of my arteries from head to pelvis in, I guess it was the end of November, with the follow-up appointment on December 1st, I believe. And everything is fine. So my aneurysm in my head, I have a pseudoaneurysm in my left internal carotid artery, and that is stable. It is the same size that it has been since it was diagnosed in 2017 after my VEDS diagnosis, and that has not grown for several years now, which is fantastic. And I have no other artery issues anywhere else in the body. My spleen ruptured, last year. It's been a little over a year since my spleen ruptured in October 2021. And that is still looking good. It's, got a coil embolization there, and the spleen is still living and everything's good. So those are all the health updates I really have. I'm really hoping that next year is not like this, but I know that I have to roll with the punches with this condition and with my life in general. And so if it is another year like this next year, I'll roll with it and I will be fine. But I have not had energy to do a lot of video editing. So I'm excited to have you all here for my first live stream. This is actually really fun. Quick update on the podcast. So I think you've probably been seeing a lot of podcast videos show up in your feed. And I really enjoy doing those. So the podcast is called Staying Connected, and I interview other people about their stories with VEDS or vascular EDS. And I do them in seasons now. So I do seasons in the spring and in the fall. And it's been really special to me. I've been doing that since April 2018. There are close to 70 episodes now where I talk to other people. Some of you here have been on the podcast, like Lisa in Norway. She was on about a year ago, I believe, talking about her daughter's story. And so I experimented this year with doing like short videos, like video clips of the interviews. All right, see you later, Athos. I've been experimenting with doing short videos, like clips of the actual podcast, because the podcast is totally like audio only. It's a real podcast. It lives on podcast players, but I experimented with putting clips on YouTube. And so you've probably seen a lot of those on the subscription feed because I've been creating those. And then I've also been putting the full like audio only episodes of the podcast on the channel so that, people who are listening around the world who aren't listening, like they don't speak English and the podcast is in English, they can use the automatic captioning feature of YouTube in order to get the subtitles in their language that they speak. And I think that's really important because this podcast is reaching every continent except for Antarctica, which I would say it would be a really weird achievement to hit Antarctica, but we're reaching a lot of people with this podcast. And I want to make sure that, people who want to access it can access it and get those subtitles. So you've probably been seeing those a lot. Just finished up season 4 at the beginning of December, and I'm working on season 5 now. So I've got a few people ready to do interviews in January and February, and then I will be, planning to air the season in the spring. If you're interested in sharing your story with vets on the podcast, I have a link for like my Calendly. I don't have it on me though, so let me know in the comments and I'll get that link to you later. And I'm also working on a special episode or I've got a couple ideas for like a special episode to get us from here to when the podcast season launches in March. So probably January or February, I'm looking at 1 or 2 special episodes since I don't have a full season during that time. So other than that, that's what I've been working on. And we can talk about fun stuff now, I guess. I think I'm interested actually to share with you these goofy glasses that I got this year. And actually, I'm just going to change these out. So I don't know. You've probably seen these on Facebook. I swear this isn't a marketing video. But I've had a lot of fun with these this year. It's been giving me a lot of giggles and laughs. I've got like 6 different frames, and these ones are national park patches. I don't know if you can see that. They're like little park patches. So this has been fun this year for me. I'm interested. Thanks, Fiona. In my tree 0321. Thank you so much. They're a lot of fun. I've got these ones that have Bigfoot on them, and I convinced my mom to buy them too because she's a Bigfoot fan. So they've got a little Bigfoot right here, and I've just been having a load of fun with this. I'm interested in if anybody, since we are on New Year's Eve, if anybody has New Year's resolutions, or if you do that. I don't usually do New Year's resolutions, but I have one this year. Before I share mine, I'd love to see if anybody has New Year's resolutions of your own that you'd like to share. I know it's kind of scary because it's public, right? I mean, there's like 9 of us here, and you might not know those other 8 people. I think that I'm going to be doing live streams more because I'm having fun with this, and maybe I could share it further in advance or come up with some kind of routine, like, I don't know, once a month on a Saturday or something like that. Would you all like more live streams? Is this interesting to you? Or get tested? That's a good one, Daman. That's a good one. I know that you've struggled to get the testing, so I really, really hope that you can. And there's resources out there to do that, I believe, that you can order on your own. So I think I'll do more live streams if y'all like this. And we could do like a Q&A video, or we could do art together, or we could write poems. I don't know. There's like all sorts of goofy stuff. I'm in a goofy mood today. I think I'm like really happy to say goodbye to this year and get into the next year. Be unapologetically me. That is such a great New Year's resolution. I love that so much. That is great. That is awesome. Anybody else have New Year's resolutions to share? I'm like really, really happy with these. I think it's so important to be unapologetically yourself in general. Like that's something that the last couple years I've been working on as well. And there's a lot in the beginning where I was nervous about being my complete self on YouTube. I actually tend to kind of like phase in and out of my gender expression or the kinds of clothes that I wear or my haircut like changes. And I got so nervous that, I couldn't cut my hair because people had seen me one way and it was ridiculous, right? So I started working on that a couple years ago to just be myself, whatever that was, and I am much happier for it. And hopefully y'all are too. It's a great New Year's resolution. I'm going to go ahead and change these out for some grizzly bears. Well, I don't really have a lot of other content for you all. It's really just a health update video. I got a puppy this year, and that was in September, right when we got back from the Sequoia National Forest or National Park. We got a little pound puppy. He was about 7 pounds when we got him. We went to the Humane Society looking for a small breed adult dog, and we came home with an 8-week-old pitty puppy. So he's a Staffordshire mix. We think he's mixed with an Australian cattle dog. Maybe he's got these cute little spots everywhere, and he's about 40 pounds now, and he gets along great with our miniature dachshund. So that's been a fun thing for us, and that's about it. That's about all that I have. All right. Well, I have really enjoyed this. And I think that my New Year's resolution will be to do more live streams and plan them in advance, maybe on a regular schedule, even if it's only once a month or once a quarter, something to just kind of have more fun and interact with you all more. I think it'd be really good for me and um, can get lonely over here behind those computers. So, thank you all for joining me today. Happy New Year's. I hope you have a really, really, really great time. Oh, good. Somebody, thanks, Fiona. Keen on more live streams. Perfect. Okay. So we'll find things to do together on live streams and we'll have a lot of fun with it next year. I hope you all have a great New Year's Eve and a great start to your new year of 2023. All right. I'll see you all later.